Hi, Dr. Audrey Tang here, and today's question comes from somebody who is looking for another job. And what they say is, I would like to think about changing careers, but my CV isn't anywhere near up to date and I'm not sure how to make a start. This is a very common question, and so many people say when they are looking to change careers or just looking for other opportunities, what do I do? Well, the first thing is get that CV out and start filling it in with all of the things that you've been doing in your current job. The next thing is use some of those social media platforms, and if you're already updating your CV, then LinkedIn is the next place to put all of that updated information. Now, I know in people's experience with LinkedIn, they sometimes feel, oh, all I get is messages from recruitment consultants. But that may be because what you've just done is you were told at some point, use LinkedIn as a platform and then just upload your CV. If you're actually using it as a means of networking, what you are doing is you're posting updates, you might be posting blogs, showing your knowledge about your subject, and then you start building connections on LinkedIn. And not only will you be aware of jobs that might be coming up that you hadn't realized before, but you're also right in the moment of what that job market is doing in your area at this time. The next thing to do is remember that it's always best to look for another job whilst you still have your current one. Mainly because if we have just jumped ship and just disappeared from that particular job, and there may be very good reasons why you might do this, so if it is affecting your mental health, then maybe it is the right time. But when it comes to looking for other work, if we start feeling a little bit desperate and thinking I must take the next thing that comes along, it's too easy to jump from one job which you haven't been enjoying, for example, into another which you may not enjoy, but you've taken out of that feeling of desperation. So the best thing to do is actually think about where you want to go. Maybe use some of the career advice websites, such as What Colour Is Your Parachute, to really take that opportunity to think about whereabouts you want to go. One piece of advice that I generally give when thinking about careers is not to ask, what is it you want to be? I find that quite restrictive. But if you look at what problems you want to solve or what is it you want to do, then you have a few more options. So, for example, if you say to somebody, well, what do you want to be when you grow up, say, and they say, oh, I want to be a vet. It's a very straightforward career path, because you know which A-levels to take, which university degrees to take, and then what traineeships, apprenticeships and so on to go on to afterwards. But being a vet may not actually be what that person wants. You might want to work with animals, or you might want to give advice on animals. And there are many different things or callings or vocations that you can actually go to instead. You might want to travel the world and work in an elephant sanctuary, or you might want to write papers about animal health and work as a vocational tutor to support people who are going into veterinary science. If you think about what it is you want to do, and then you can plot out all of those different elements, you will then be able to find work that actually fits those elements, those skills that you have, and you can think a little bit more widely about what vocation you want to move into. The last thing you want to be doing is jumping from one place where you may or may not have been happy, perhaps you're just looking for a change, straight into something else where you also may not be happy. A couple of tips for writing your CV. Be specific. Try and quantify all of those things you've done. If you've managed budgets, absolutely great. Say how much you've managed those budgets up to. If you have delivered presentations, again, absolutely great. What you then need to do is say how many people that you've presented to, especially if it's quite a large number, because if you just say you're good at presentations, you don't know whether someone's presenting to 3 people or 300, and 300 sounds pretty good. So if you need to boost your presentation skills or tell people how good you are in something, quantifying it makes a huge difference. Also with your CV, whilst we all may emphasise certain elements of what goes on there, please do not lie on that CV. It's getting so much easier to check now, because if you are on LinkedIn, if you are, you're online pretty much everywhere, and it's quite easy to have a look back, even without contacting people, to see where you were at certain times and see if that matches up. The last tip I would say if you are looking for a job is, please make sure your social media profile is acceptable to prospective employers. People have been hired or fired or rejected on the grounds of their social media platform. If somebody is always posting public pictures of themselves in states of sort of disrepair, as it might be, a prospective employer is not going to take particularly kindly to that. However, research has shown that if somebody has a very professional social media platform and they can show all of the things that they have been doing that supports their application, that has actually increased their chance of interview. And I'm not just talking about the professional platforms here, I am talking about things such as Facebook. If you've put a picture publicly out there, it is public, so we do need to take responsibility for our brand as well.